A mother dies in a Sacramento hospital, her eyes and tissue harvested without consent, her body hidden in a decrepit morgue for 7 months while her family desperately searches for her. A prison inmate is found sawed nearly in half, folded into a garbage can with all of his organs missing. A 24-year-old model vanishes in the Mojave Desert, his remains discovered missing his heart, lungs, liver, and kidney. An 8-year-old boy fights for air as a UCLA doctor allegedly administers a lethal dose of fentanyl to harvest his organs faster. And in the basement of UCLA's medical school, 800 donated bodies are secretly butchered and sold for profit in a $1 million black market scheme. These aren't scenes from a horror movie. These are real-life cases that have unfolded across California over the past decade, documented in police reports, court records, and coroner files. What you're about to hear will change everything you thought you knew about organ donation, medical ethics, and the dark economy of human body parts. From prestigious hospitals to prison cells, from university laboratories to county morgues, a disturbing pattern has emerged. Bodies disappearing, organs vanishing, families left searching for answers, and a system that seems designed to protect the harvesters rather than the harvested. This is the story of how California's organ procurement system became a nightmare factory, where profits trump dignity, where evidence is destroyed before crimes can be investigated, and where the line between saving lives and taking them has been obliterated. Once you know what's really happening behind those hospital doors, you'll never look at organ donation the same way again. Welcome back to the Strange Bar and Grill. I'm your host, JP. Today's video brings us to California to discuss body part trafficking and organ harvesting. I won't hold you, so let's just jump right in. This story begins on November 2nd of 2023. When 51-year-old Tonya Walker died of cardiac arrest at Dignity Health's Mercy General Hospital in Sacramento County. But her death was just the beginning of a nightmare that would consume her family for the next 7 months and expose a shocking pattern of corporate medical negligence affecting dozens of California families. Tonya Walker was the oldest of 13 children. She was known for never missing family holidays. So when Thanksgiving of 2023 came and went without a word from her, her family knew something was catastrophically wrong. What they didn't know was that Walker had been dead for weeks, and that Dignity Health had allegedly harvested her eyes and tissue without consent, despite her not being registered as an organ donor. On November 16th, 2 weeks after Tonya Walker's unacknowledged death, her sister, Dali Merez, filed a missing person report with the Sacramento County Sheriff's Office. For 7 months, detectives used cadaver dogs, reviewed surveillance footage, and followed disturbing tips. The family created flyers, posted on social media, and searched desperately for someone who was never actually missing. The truth only emerged in May of 2024 when the Justice Department contacted Sacramento County after Tonya Walker was flagged as deceased by the DMV. She had been stored at an off-site morgue called Cremations Only for over 200 days, her body deteriorating in improperly refrigerated conditions while her family searched the streets. When the family finally viewed Tonya's remains, they were horrified. Her face looked like someone put battery acid all on her face, Merez told reporters. They could only identify Tonya by a tattoo on her arm due to the facial disfigurement. The lawsuit alleges Dignity Health unilaterally made the decision to make Ms. Tonya Walker an organ donor and, without any permission whatsoever, harvested Ms. Walker's eyes and tissue. Dignity Health, part of Common Spirit Health, with billions in revenue each year and executives earning tens of millions of dollars annually, took over 5 months to issue Tonya Walker's death certificate, far exceeding California's 8-day legal requirement. Court records reveal Tonya's case is just one of 22 plus other cases where Dignity Health took over a year to issue death certificates, creating a pattern Sacramento County Detective Zaheen Buksh called a preventable situation that diverted crucial resources from genuine missing persons cases. The brutality reaches its peak in the case of Nicholas Anthony Rodriguez, a 24-year-old Oakland resident serving an 8-year robbery sentence at California State Prison. On May 4th, 2015, following a 58-inmate riot, Rodriguez was discovered in a condition so horrific it defied comprehension. Prison officials found Rodriguez's body sawed nearly in two, folded into a garbage can in a shower stall, just doors from his cell. The autopsy revealed that virtually all of his abdominal and chest organs had been removed, leaving behind only the gruesome shell of what had been a young man. Rodriguez had suffered massive blunt force trauma to his head, a deep star-shaped wound, and multiple skull fractures before the systematic dismemberment began. His cellmate, Jesus A. Perez, a 46-year-old already serving life for a 2009 Los Angeles County murder, was charged with the killing. But the most disturbing aspect of the case isn't just the savage nature of Rodriguez's death, it's that his missing organs were never recovered and their fate remains unknown. Prison officials initially assumed that Rodriguez had escaped during the riot, not discovering his remains until 9:30 p.m., nearly 15 hours after the violence began. Perez, who suffered from delusions including claims that all of his family members were dead and that he had inherited $200 million, pleaded no contest to murder in February of 2019 and received 25 years to life on top of his existing life sentence. Yet the question that haunts investigators remains: what happened to Nicholas Rodriguez's organs? Was Jesus A. Perez working with one of the prison officials to help harvest his organs? Or was this a random act of violence from an insane person? From Georgia's modeling runways to the unforgiving Mojave Desert, Ryan Singelton's story reads like a Hollywood thriller with a tragic ending. The 24-year-old Atlanta native had walked New York Fashion Week runways and moved to Los Angeles with 3 friends, calling themselves the Black Entourage. While documenting their journey in a reality show called Are We Famous Yet? On July 9th of 2013, Singleton's rental car broke down in Death Valley while returning from Las Vegas to Los Angeles. California Highway Patrol found him walking on Interstate 15 at around 2 p.m. and took him to an AM/PM convenience store in Baker, California. Security cameras captured him making a purchase at 2:20 p.m. before walking out into the desert heat, the last confirmed sighting of Ryan Singleton alive. 74 days later, hikers discovered human remains about 2 miles from the gas station. The body weighed only 50 pounds and was nearly completely skeletonized. Most shocking to investigators, Singleton's eyes, heart, lungs, liver, and kidney were completely absent, and several ribs on his left side had been removed. For 11 years, Ryan's mother, Iris Flowers, has fought for answers. Convinced her son was murdered for his organs, she points to the precise removal of specific organs, while his clothing, black shorts, high-top shoes, and socks remained intact. How do animals remove organs so precisely while leaving everything else intact? She asks investigators, who dismiss her concerns. However, forensic experts, including Jacksonville State University's Joseph Scott Morgan, argue the missing organs resulted from coyote scavenging, not surgical harvesting. The San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department lists the cause and manner of death as undetermined due to advanced decomposition, leaving Iris without closure and fueling persistent theories about desert organ trafficking operations. What do you think? Is this the case of animal scavenging, or was Ryan targeted for his organs? It is kind of strange they found him 72 hours later with all his organs missing. You would think that a coyote eating a human, their clothes would somewhat be removed, at least socks and different things of that nature, but all of his clothes were still on, which I find that to be odd. But let me know what you guys think of that one in the comment section, because I know coyotes are known for eating organs, but it seems bizarre that he would be fully clothed still. That's what gets me. Perhaps no case illustrates the ethical complexities of organ harvesting like that of 8-year-old Cole Hartman, who died at UCLA's Ronald Reagan Medical Center on August 3rd of 2013. Born with Fragile X syndrome, which is a genetic condition that causes a range of developmental problems including learning disabilities and cognitive impairment. Young Cole was found by his father headfirst in a running washing machine, submerged for an estimated 25 minutes before paramedics restarted his heart. Flown to UCLA in grave condition, Cole remained comatose and on a ventilator while physicians determined he was not brain dead, but would never recover normal neural function and could never awaken. His adoptive parents, Jeremy and Elizabeth Hartman, made the agonizing decision to withdraw life support and donate his organs. But what happened next has sparked a 4-year LAPD investigation that remains ongoing. Coroner's investigator Denise Bertone alleges that Dr. Judith Brill, a respected UCLA anesthesiologist, administered 500 micrograms of fentanyl to the 47-pound child with the purpose of inducing his death. According to Bertone's later testimony, Cole continued to gasp for air after the ventilator was removed at 10:40 a.m. A pediatric toxicologist later determined the fentanyl dose was responsible for the death of this patient and was not consistent with the therapeutic dose for the management of pain and discomfort. Cole's heart stopped at 10:59 a.m., just 19 minutes after life support ended, and his kidneys and liver were successfully harvested for transplantation. Dr. Brill's attorney called the allegations factually wrong and offensive, maintaining that her only concern was ensuring Cole didn't suffer pain. The case highlights the razor-thin line between appropriate pain management and organ donation and potentially criminal acts to hasten death for harvesting purposes. Denise Bertone, LA County's only full-time pediatric death investigator, would later win an $8.4 million jury award, which was reduced to $3 million in settlement in a whistleblower lawsuit, claiming she was retaliated against for pursuing Cole's case. She came too close to uncovering their dirty tactics. The manner of death remains undetermined pending the ongoing investigation. Now, I'm sure this isn't the first time a patient was given something to speed up this process so that they can get their hands on their organs and body parts, and I'm sure it won't be the last, but I find it very sick, and I feel like a lot of this is fueled with greed. They want to hurry up and have this patient flatline, declared deceased, so they can get their organs and get them off to where they need to go. It's really sick and dark. Between 1999 and 2004, UCLA's prestigious wheeled body program, the first of its kind in the U.S., became the epicenter of a body part trafficking scheme that would shock the medical community and devastate hundreds of families who had donated their loved ones' bodies for medical education. Henry Reed, the 58-year-old director of UCLA's wheeled body program, allowed outside contractor Ernest Nelson to harvest body parts from donated cadavers without proper authorization. Nelson, who operated Empire Anatomical Company, would visit UCLA's 7th floor refrigeration facility twice weekly with saws and tools, dismembering bodies and storing parts in a rented warehouse before selling them to medical research companies. Over 6 years, approximately 800 cadavers were affected, generating between $1 million and $1.5 million in documented sales. Nelson's invoices showed over $700,000 in sales for just 496 cadavers, with body parts sold to over 20 medical and pharmaceutical companies. The scheme only came to light in February of 2003, when a California state health investigator noticed falsified blood test documents for shipments to a San Diego medical device company. The impact on families was devastating. Ruth Waters, who died in 2001, was among the victims whose remains were improperly handled. About 260 potential donors withdrew from the program after the scandal broke. One family member described feeling betrayed after learning their father's donated body had been sold for profit instead of used for medical education like it was intended. Reed pleaded guilty in October of 2008 to conspiracy to commit grand theft and was sentenced to 4 years, 4 months in state prison. Ordered to pay $500,000 restitution to UCLA, Nelson received 10 years in prison and was ordered to pay $1.5 million restitution after his conviction on 8 felony counts including grand theft, conspiracy, and tax evasion. UCLA voluntarily suspended its wheeled body program for 18 months and implemented sweeping reforms including mandatory background checks, RFID tracking tags, video surveillance, and a zero-tolerance policy prohibiting any body parts from being sold or transferred to outside institutions. The most insidious aspect of California's organ harvesting crisis may be the systematic destruction of evidence in criminal investigations. A major Los Angeles Times investigation revealed that dozens of death investigations in Los Angeles and San Diego counties have been compromised by tissue procurement companies harvesting organs, skin, bones, and other parts before medical examiners could determine cause of death. In the case of 69-year-old Marietta Jindy from Gardena, police had been called to her home multiple times for reports of possible abuse, with one detective describing conditions as horrendous. But when Marietta died in September of 2016, One Legacy removed bones from her legs and arms, plus large patches of skin from her back, before the coroner's investigation was complete. The coroner had to determine cause of death without critical physical evidence and concluded natural causes despite the abuse allegations. Guillermo Valencia, 39 years old, was found unconscious in an East LA alley with severe head injuries, blood streaming from a 2-inch gash, fractured nose, and bloodied eye. Deputies were investigating a possible beating death when One Legacy harvested organs and tissue with family permission. Medical examiner Luis Pena couldn't determine if internal injuries were from violence, accident, or the harvesting procedures, and couldn't rule out an aneurysm because most of the heart's aorta had been procured. The scope is staggering. Internal documents from the LA County morgue revealed nearly 60 complaints, emails, and documents detailing how organ procurement interfered with determining cause of death. Over 20 pathologists, investigators, and coroner employees documented the interference, yet the system continues largely unchanged. Companies like One Legacy have embedded procurement teams inside the government morgues with 24-hour access, renting surgical suites within the facilities. In 2017, they coordinated with 5 large California county morgues in secretive efforts to block public records requests and considered suing to prevent information release. So these people are so damn greedy that they are going in, harvesting organs before an autopsy can even be performed, thus ruining the autopsy. How does that make sense? How is that allowed? How is that legal? It just doesn't make sense to me. These cases reveal more than isolated incidents of criminal behavior. They expose a systematic failure of oversight, accountability, and basic human dignity within California's medical and legal institutions. From Dignity Health's corporate negligence affecting dozens of families, to UCLA's body trafficking scandal, to the ongoing compromise of death investigations across multiple counties, a pattern emerges of institutions prioritizing profits and convenience over justice and transparency. And also, the financial incentives are just insane. So a single body can supply materials worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, with a half teaspoon of ground human skin priced at $434. One Legacy CEO earns over $904,000 annually, while the organization has been flagged as Tier 3 failing for performance issues. How can your company be failing, but yet you're pulling in this much profit? It just doesn't make sense. The tissue procurement industry operates with minimal oversight, embedded within government facilities with unprecedented access to human remains. California's organ harvesting scandals illuminate the darkest corners of modern medicine, where the noble goal of saving lives through transplantation has been corrupted by corporate greed, institutional negligence, and systematic dehumanization of the deceased and their families. These cases represent not just individual tragedies, but a broader indictment of systems that have lost sight of basic human dignity. Alright guys, that's going to be it for today. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of this in the comment section. So share, comment, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Alright guys.